What's up guys, welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel if you have watched before. Today we're going to get into the top 10 things you need to know before moving to the Rapid City Black Hills area. I was going to do 9, but I decided to do a 10th bonus one. So stay tuned, let's get right into top 10 things you need to know. Hey guys, what's going on? If you don't know me already, my name is Morrison, local real estate agent here in the Rapid City Black Hills area. This is Life in Rapid City, where we talk about everything you need to know about the Rapid City Black Hills area. If you're new to this, or if you've been watching for a while, I just looked at my analytics, and over 90% of the people that watch my videos don't subscribe, and that's probably because I never ask anybody to subscribe. So if you get any value out of this, or you've been watching for a while, do me a quick favor and hit subscribe and hit that notification bell for me. Just to see my analytics go up on that. Now also, I am a licensed real estate agent here in the Rapid City Black Hills area. So if you're looking at moving here, you got any questions, call me, text me, or hit the link below that says schedule a call with me. It'll select a slot in my calendar, and I'm happy to help you any way I can there. I've worked with so many of you guys moving here, or people that already live here that watch the channel, and I love to continue working with you guys. So, all right, now that we got that out of the way, let's get into top 10 things you need to know before moving here. Number 1, which might seem like the most obvious one, is the Black Hills itself. The Black Hills have so much to do in them. It's one of the best parts of living here, or the worst part if you don't like the mountains. You probably won't like it. But it's the end of the Rocky Mountains here, which is why they call it hills, because they're not as high elevation, I guess, as the mountains. But coming from myself, who lived in the Rockies before moving here, to me it's a very similar feeling. You know, something else to think about, I wasn't planning on talking about this, but being in the Black Hills, the elevation is something that some people from out of state might have an issue with or not be used to, especially if you're going hiking or going on a long run or things like that. We're over 3,000 feet elevation here. If you're in the hills, you're probably even higher than that. But something to consider is that you're going to be in the elevation above sea level around 3,000 feet. Now, with the Black Hills, there's so many outdoor activities. There's hiking, biking, which I've talked about ad nauseum. Hiking, biking, swimming. There is sledding. There's cross-country skiing in the winter. There's skiing at Terry Peak in the winter as well. There's tubing, all kinds of outdoor activities. If you're an outdoor lover, this is definitely the place for you. Number 2 is the winter and the winter weather here. Now, some people think that it's South Dakota. All you picture is like this flat land with blizzards, everybody frozen all the time. Well, that's not always the case. In fact, it's pretty rare. I made a video recently on the worst of the weather here. And yes, it can get bad sometimes where it's very cold, but we get so much sunshine here, guys, that most of the time, I mean, you're not going to have snow on the ground for much longer than a week at most. A lot of times it's melted in the first couple days, 3 or 4 days. It's all gone after it snows. Like looking at the calendar this coming week, the weather is amazing. There's a bunch of days over 50 degrees, and we are in the heart of winter. Beginning to mid-January, it's usually the coldest we get. February is cold too. But you can see just based off the weather coming up the next 10 days, it's looking pretty good weather-wise, and this is a very common weather pattern for here. But not to say that you shouldn't worry about the winter if you're not used to it at all. You definitely should. You should definitely be ready for it. And sometimes there's major winter storms that come through that shut down the city for a few days, shut it down. Usually grocery stores and stuff are still open, but you're going to want to prepare for that kind of stuff. Go grocery shopping beforehand and all of that kind of stuff before those storms come in. Now, with the weather being so good, you can get out in the winter a lot. A lot of people are scared of being locked in your house. You can still go enjoy those outdoor activities. Me and my wife do it. Go on walks in the park or going skiing, like I said. You can even go on hikes in some of these trails in the winter. There's still a lot of stuff to do outside in the winter. Number 3 is tourism. So tourism is a giant industry in the Black Hills and in Rapid City itself, but mainly on the outside of town. We have over 1 million people a year. I think maybe I saw somewhere it was over 2 million people a year that come through the Black Hills for vacation in the summer months. Now, pretty much all of this happens between the beginning of June and the end of August is when all of these people come through. So, and you get a little bit of May and September as well, but the bulk of it is beginning of June to the end of August. So those 3 months are extremely busy in the hills. You're going to have tour buses going everywhere. Not really in town, but definitely in the hills if you're in the mix of like Mount Rushmore and that type of thing. Me personally, when I first moved here, I thought it was super cool. And I still actually do think it's cool. Whenever it's touristy and there's tourist season going on, you can go do a lot of the sightseeing tours. You can go explore caves. You can do this in the winter too, but it's more fun in the summer because it's warmer. Explore caves, go on adventures through the hills, go on Jeep tours. There's tons of stuff that you can do touristy, quote unquote, wise in the summer months. And just to be prepared for that, because there is a tourist season, which is a big different feel in the town, especially in the little mountain towns or the hills towns throughout the Black Hills. You know, some of those places only have 1,000 people that live there or less. And then in the summer, you got 10,000 people there. So the town is totally different feeling in the summer, in tourist season versus in the winter. Another thing you got is a Sturgis motorcycle rally, which is a big economic thing and very good for the economy, especially for Sturgis. I'll maybe give this like a 3.1 because I didn't give this its own category. Maybe I should have, this own number. But Sturgis is here, and that itself brings like 500,000 people into the town of Sturgis, which only has like 10,000 people that live there. So it's a big for the economy. Tourism is huge here. So be prepared for that. Number 4, this is kind of a random one, inspired from someone else that I heard, but dog lovers. This is a giant dog lover city. I think every single person I know has a dog or an animal of some sort, but almost every single one has a dog. I literally can't think of a single friend of mine that does not have a dog. A lot of places downtown, like coffee shops and stuff, are dog friendly. You can bring your dog in there. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So just a little caveat, if you're a dog lover or a dog hater, which that would be weird, if you're a dog lover, definitely a big dog community. There's a couple dog parks here that you can bring your dog to outside, take them hiking with you. Definitely a big dog community. Number 5, this is surprising. A lot of people don't know this about the area, and that is we have a big military population / influence here. The reason is about 10 minutes northeast of Rapid City is Box Elder, and it has Ellsworth Air Force Base, which is a big Air Force base that is currently in the process of expanding in a very big way, bringing a lot of people here, bringing a new bomber here. So the military has a big part to play here. If you're ex-military or anything like that, you could obviously probably utilize that base. I'm not sure all the rules around that, laws around that, but we do have that military base here. And going along with the military, because a lot of people went to Ellsworth when they were stationed there, they loved it here, decided they want to retire here. So we have a lot of military retirees here as well. And we also have a VA hospital in Sturgis, and I believe there's another clinic somewhere south. I believe it's in Hot Springs. So if you're military or ex-military, this is definitely a place that you would probably feel at home. Number 6 is rock climbing. So rock climbing is actually a huge thing here. A lot of people rock climb. I do not myself. I have done it before, but I'm not big into rock climbing. There's a ton of rock climbers here, which kind of similar to Colorado. There's a big rock climbing scene there too. So a lot of people I know, even elderly people, meaning like, above 60, they are into rock climbing. Maybe not at an extreme scale as someone else, but it's still there. There's a big scene in rock climbing. There's a rock climbing gym here. So if you're at all interested in rock climbing, there's a ton of groups you can plug into on Facebook and things like that to get plugged in, meet people, and go out there and rock climb. You could even learn to rock climb if you've never done it and want to do it. Rock climbing is kind of a cool thing and something we have here. I will say, going along with rock climbing, there's a lot of hiking, running, biking groups and stuff you can join as well and get plugged into. If you're new to town or want to get involved in those kind of communities, you can get plugged into that stuff very easily and start making friends and getting healthy with outside activity. Now that brings me into number 7, which is summertime as a whole is an amazing time to be in Rapid City in the Black Hills. We have actually a lot of people that only live here in the summer and go places like Arizona or something like that in the winter months. So summer is a blissful time here. We got awesome lakes, a couple of really good lakes that I love going to, even my wife loved going to, for fishing or just sitting on the beaches there. They have pretty decent beaches on a lot of the, on 2 of the lakes here. Or, maybe you could go out skiing, snorkeling. I've done some snorkeling, fishing, whatever it is. We have some good lakes here for that. Also on the fishing side of things, obviously we have some good rivers, really good fly fishing, in some places like that. Another cool thing is if you're into hiking or you want to go swimming, we have a lot of cool water holes here. There's a place called Hippie Hole, Little Springs. There's a lot of little places where you got to do a small hike or a big hike and you get into a cool waterfall, swimming hole type situation. That's pretty sweet if you haven't been to that kind of stuff before. Obviously, going along with the summertime, all the hiking, biking, all that kind of stuff, the tourism, all that stuff's happening in high energy and high spirits in that time. So if you want to do any of that stuff, summertime is amazing and the weather is usually amazing in the summer. Number 8, we're going to talk about churches. So churches are a pretty big deal in the town. Very big part of the population is Christian or Catholic. So churches, there's multiple options. There's some really good churches. There's actually some churches that get together and do outdoor activities like rock climbing that I know of. We go to a church here personally called Fountain Springs. There's a good community if you're interested in getting in plugged into the churches here, and there's a good religious foundation in the city, I would say. Maybe that's positive, maybe that's a negative for you, but just want to be honest with how the community is here and kind of how it flows. So if you're looking for a good church home and that's important for you where you're moving, Rapid City has probably a good spot for you and a couple good options to choose from. All right, going on my number 9, which was my original last option here, and then I'm going to plug my bonus in at the end of this. It kind of attaches to number 9. So, because it's something people don't normally think about, so I wanted to add it to this. Number 9 is housing prices and housing overall. A lot of people I've had move here from the YouTube channel, they are shocked or surprised. Not everybody is, but some people are very shocked and surprised at the housing prices here. Our average price point here is right around 380 grand, so close to $400,000. And some markets, it's much less than that. Some markets, it's much higher, depends on where you're coming from. But just to be realistic, you're probably going to spend on something decent. Like if you want at least a 3-bed, 2-bath house in a really nice neighborhood, you're going to spend at least that $350,000 to $400,000 mark on that property. Now, of course, if you want to get something with land, something with more options, get in the hills, you could go up from there quite a bit. And if it's a fixer-upper, you can spend less. But I'm just talking about purely something that's ready to go and you can move into. Just want it to be not a shock to you if you're looking at moving here. So just keep on your mind the average price point is around $400,000 for buying something. Now, all right, my 10th and my bonus one here is going to be with housing, something a lot of people don't think about, and that is what direction your house is facing. Sounds crazy, I know, if you've never lived in a cold climate, but if your house is north facing, this is a big problem. And let me explain why. If it's north facing, when the snow comes and dumps on it, what's going to happen? It's going to be shaded. All the shade is going to be on your driveway, your walkway, whatever, and it's going to sit there unless you scrape it and put salt down or de-ice or whatever to get it melted off. It's going to sit there for sure, get icy, and stay. So a lot of people here do not like north-facing driveways. I personally lived in a north-facing driveway for like 4 years, so to me, I don't care because I just go shovel it and ice and put salt down. But you can get a ton of snow and it's hard to get it off. Now on the flip side, if your house is facing north, you look at the neighbor, theirs is facing south, you're gonna have a bunch of jealousy because the south facing one gets so much sun exposure and it's gonna melt that driveway right off and they're not even gonna shovel probably, it's just gonna be melted off. So look out for that if you're looking for a house. Look what direction it's facing. You want south facing if possible. I personally wouldn't care, but a lot of people really care about south-facing houses. Now, guys, again, if you got value from this video and you're looking at moving here, you're thinking about moving to the Rapid City Black Hills area, shoot me a call, text, or hit the link below that says schedule a call with me. Shoot me an email as well. All my info is on screen and below. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. I will see you next time. Peace.